What are your expectations as far as Bill's plans at quarterback?
I think my expectation is that they will evolve throughout the offseason as he sees what happens with the market. You mentioned that dead money, $13.5 million in dead money for Tom Brady. That's not going anywhere. Right now they have a $14.8 million cap hit for Joe Thuney, the guard that they franchised. That's not going anywhere unless they can restructure the contract. What do? They like Jarrett Stidham. They'll give him a shot to win the job if they don't add anybody else. But it's possible they add someone else. It's possible that the price on Jameis Winston or Cam Newton gets to a point that they feel good about. It's possible that they draft someone early in the draft here in a couple of weeks. Belichick's only ever drafted one quarterback before the first round, and it was Jimmy Garoppolo in the second. So he could be looking in that second, third round range to try and find another candidate for the future, for the present and the future. And then, of course, you look at other quarterback situations around the league. Does some other team draft a quarterback that changes its feeling of the quarterbacks that already had in the room? Do they now have a backup that they don't need anymore? So I think Bill Belichick, his history shows that he's patient. He waits out the market. He lets the bargains and the deals come to him. And at this point, I think right now it looks like Jarrett Stidham, but I think there's more story to be told here before the season, assuming we do have a season.
All right, Dan Graziano, terrific. Thank you very much. I'll check back with you as we go. And I wanted to show you here up on your screen the Patriots' options at quarterback. I ran through it a little bit there in the essay, but you've got Hoyer and you've got Jarrett Stidham. They released Cody Kessler last week. Hoyer was on the Colts last year, made the one start. Stidham, as we mentioned, threw just the 4 passes last year. I've got Dan Orlovsky and Marcus Spears with me here all morning long. Dan, how do you view the Patriots, their quarterbacks in particular, and overall the Patriots in general right now?
Yeah, Greeny, if Bill Belichick takes this team to the playoffs, it will be one of his greatest coaching accomplishments because this roster is devoid of talent. If we just stay in the division, Greeny, this is the weakest or at least most unproven quarterback room in the division. If you look at the division, this is the least talented skill position group in totality. Just in the AFC East, not even including the whole conference. And so, listen, the reality is that every team has been gunning for the New England Patriots for 2 decades. But the Patriots have always been fully equipped. And now they're weaker. Now they're, in many ways, have lost their identity. And in football or in sports in general, we're always taught when you see your opponent weak, you step on their throat. And so I can promise you, everybody who plays New England, the Buffalo Bills and the New York Jets and the Miami Dolphins, in their division, those teams are going to have a focus of trying to step on the Patriots' throats and bury them to, in some small way, erase the 2 decades of domination. So this is a weak team, and Bill Belichick has his work cut out for him.
I want to talk, Marcus, about Jarrett Stidham, whom you know well from his time in the SEC. And I'll just take you back 20 years. If I had said then, Tom Brady, at the exact same stage of his development that Stidham is now, if I had said this 6th-round pick out of Michigan they have sitting there is going to be the greatest quarterback of all time, you would have laughed hysterically at me, and no one could have blamed you. You know Jarrett Stidham. We keep hearing Belichick likes him. How good is he? Can he be the answer?
Jarrett Stidham is really good, G, based on what he did in college and some games. But obviously, everybody talks about the sample size. But to your point, and it's something we talked about a couple weeks ago, we don't know if Jarrett Stidham is going to be a really good quarterback, an average quarterback, or a guy that they're going to be looking to replace here in the next few weeks after the season starts. So I sit here, just like we're being optimistic about a lot of other things, I believe Jarrett Stidham has the tools to be a good quarterback. Same thing with Jimmy Garoppolo, G. Like, we didn't know Jimmy Garoppolo would become a $100 million quarterback. He got his opportunity. He showed that he could play. And then, obviously, San Francisco came and traded for him. Jarrett Stidham is in that same vein. Matt Castle won 11 games. I'm not ready to say Bill Belichick doesn't have an idea of what he's doing yet.
Thank you for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.